feel like I start these videos off all the same with how I get asked a lot of questions. And I literally do get asked a lot of questions across all my platforms. But this question, basically, it falls down to the same underlying question. The questions that I get basically are like, how do I get faster? How do I decrease patellotendinitis? How do I decrease shin splints? How do I hold my phases better? All these questions come into play. But it all comes down to, you wouldn't really have these questions if you have developed a proper base. When you develop a good base, then a lot of these issues won't really happen. Or if they do happen, they won't be a big factor in your overall improvement. So this video, this vlog, is going to be about how to develop a proper base. It's not going to be the specifics of reps and sets, but it's going to cover the topics and the ideas that you should put into your head to help you move forward within building a proper base. So understanding what a proper base is. What I mean by base, it's the foundation of your overall ability. Now, people say it's genetics, this kid is fast, it's genetics, they're just lucky. And part of it is, yes, they are just lucky. They're born with the strength, the base, they were born with the base that they need in order to run fast. If you don't have that base, it can be developed. Now, can it be developed to world-class speed? I don't know. But odds are it can be. You can take an athlete and teach him or her speed. Coaches say you can't teach speed. Yes, you can. You can teach speed to a very good point. However, world-class speed, the Usain Bolts, the Tyson Gays, and all these athletes that are at the top of their ability, a lot of them have a natural ability. They have a natural base, and they just train that base to develop to be better. And the world-class athletes are the ones who are talented and trained to get better. Now, back to the focus. It's like this. When you play basketball, football, or whatever, and you do not have a base, and you only develop the skill set, you're behind the ball, because you may have great hands and be able to shoot the ball very well. But if you don't have a good base, then that can lead to injury, because now when you're changing directions, that can lead to you having poor alignment with your legs and knees, and your ACL is blown out. Women's soccer, they have great ball skills. They can cross me up all day. The problem is, if they play that sport for X amount of years, odds are they're going to be susceptible to an ACL tear. And it sucks, because we're having these young kids that are going through injuries of adults. It's because they're starting at a young age and never learning how to properly start, how to properly stop, and how to properly change directions. So before you put a ball on your foot or in your hands, it's important to build your base. Now, the it's the thing that people always overlook is track and field. Your body is your actual vessel that has to develop, because you use it. It's not about just the basketball where you just make sure you can shoot better. It's when it comes to track, the stronger your physical body is, the more stable your physical body is, the more productive your physical body is, the more you can get done when you introduce that body into a specific event. Now, if you start putting in implements such as javelin and so on, there's more technique behind it. But just the flat out 100-meter dash, I don't care how good you are. If you don't know how to run, but your base is built and you're strong, you're going to run a fast, respectable 100-meter dash. If you all of a sudden try hurdles, but you're a great sprinter, you're going to be able to be a good hurdler. That's why a lot of soccer players, forget what they're called, but the midfield people, right? The ones that run back and forth all day. They're great 400-meter runners, and they're great 300, 400-meter hurdlers, because they have that base, and they've been running for a long time. They have a base strength. All right, now back to my focus. Is track and field. When you're developing yourself, you need to dedicate, I like to say, 2 months just to developing your base. The base starts with learning how to squat, learning how to do lunges, working on your range of motion, your flexibility, your overall strength. This is where you're doing deep squats in the weight room. This is where you're doing heavy bench press. You're doing a lot of things to get you overall strong. Then once you have your muscles developed with time under tension and you have that muscular base, then you introduce yourself into proper running. This is when you're doing the mechanics and drills that help you get stronger within running. Then once you have that base set, you can start doing your 200s and 400s and interval training and so on. Now, people look at my videos and they may watch the video today and they may see the last practice we ran a 4x200 meter relay run. First thing is it wasn't timed. I didn't time them. There's no focus on time right now. It's just getting the reps done. The second thing is we've been training since July 17th or 13th, something like that. Since July. We are months into our training when most colleges or most high school teams just started training in September. So you don't throw a kid in and have them start just training. You got to take your time and develop your base. I follow a lot of track and field, profiles, a lot of coaches, and what I see is a lot of athletes are on the physical runway right now doing bounding drills. They have their spikes on. When you look at a profile and you see they're doing specific jump training drills, you have to break down and understand what part of the calendar year are they in. Now, some athletes just finished their season because they're overseas. Some athletes are training right now. Some are pro, some are high school. You don't just say, well, this person is doing bounding right now, I should be doing bounding. It comes down to, have you developed your base? Have you developed your overall strength? And are you in the part of season where you need to be doing bounding? So my athletes have not worked any speed at all. We've only worked on our base running. So I have them running 400s and they're untimed, and you could look at it as, well, why are they running so long? I'm trying to develop their time under tension. So once we start actually doing our sprints and running in the late winter, we're going to be able to run. Because when you start running too soon or sprinting too soon, you're going to have a quad injury or you're going to have a soleus injury, because those two muscles are very important to your forward propulsion. Now, I can talk all day about it. If you have any questions, opinions, or comments, please write that in the comments below so I can respond to those. But today's video is very simple. Make sure you develop your base. I probably will come out with another video later on that talks about specifics of what a base needs. In the meantime, go to my Training Tip Tuesday. I literally have 5 seasons worth of material. Look at the off season or summer category and you'll be able to see what base training is. You might want to search Four Corners or search Rick Stassi. When you find those two on my page, you'll understand what I mean by base training.